Alright, I feel like we're getting somewhere now. Couple late nights. Workshop's an absolute tip. We've cleaned up a couple days, but yeah, just one big day push kind of makes a bit of a mess again. But yeah, as you can see, I've got the intake, the intercooler pipe for that side is all welded up. I've polished it first before we weld the bob on, just obviously it's a bit harder to weld, polish around that bit, so I'm going to polish the bob bracket now, and then Jimmy's going to hole saw that out, weld that on, and then that's that side done. He's welding up the air intake pipe at the moment. We made a titanium AST tank, but the radiator caps, me being in a bit of a rush ordering it, didn't actually check the sizes of the radiator caps, and so the ones they sent me were quite a bit bigger. And when the cap's on, it actually sits more out of the AST tank, which me and James don't really like the look of, so we've gone back to the black one. Going to get that textured black to suit the rest of the stuff on Monday as well. I think just having the gold on either side worked really well. I think maybe having it in the middle might have been a bit too much, so still going to do the titanium oil filler neck off the back because I think that'll still really complement it. TI dump pipe. Probably not going to have time to do the whole exhaust, but I'm going to try to get the down pipe made and the screamer pipe made. So we're just going to vent it to the ground for now. But yeah, so James is on the blower doing the air intake pipe at the moment. As you can see, he's doing vertical dabs. So if you guys do TIG welding, you're doing more of a horizontal dab than a vertical dab. The reason behind that is it's quite magnetic, so if you drag it off the material while it's still hot, it'll actually stick to the side of the material and won't come off, and you have to stop welding.
It's real sticky, you don't even have to have it close to your weld pool, you can sit it like there and it'll stick to it.
Yeah.
It's weird,
So that's the point of the vertical dabs. So yeah, it's coming out really nice. I walked through the bay before and I fucked up his gas, so that's my bad.
Rude,
What an asshole, but oh my god, how good does that look? It's going to look amazing with the polish and the anodizer.
Should look good.
But for welding this, we weld with a TIG number, is it number 20?
Isn't it like 30 or
Yeah,
something?
maybe
32 or something?
30 cup. Probably going to change later on to when we get another positioner to running a trail cup off it as well, because if you can see where the gas ends per weld, when you carry on, that line actually stays around inside the weld, and it's real hard to polish out. So if I can show you on the other one, if you polish it too hard, you actually end up flattening the weld off it as well. So I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but you can kind of see where the gas is ended for the weld. It's only very faint, like only probably us can notice it because we're a bit of anal cunts, but you can just see the inline of each weld before it's carried on. It's where the positioner would be real handy to be able to do it. But yeah, super stoked how this thing's coming together. So a whole bunch of stuff going to powder coated on Monday, so that's going to get powder coated, these are going to get powder coated, we're going to re-powder coat that in a texture. We're going to leave the down, we're going to polish the down pipe and the screamer pipe, we're going to leave them to do their thing naturally. Because we're running the East Coast Rotary semi-PP lower, which runs 4 injectors, has actually moved the intake slightly, so I ended up having to slightly notch it to fit my coils in, because it's obviously dropped it down. Oh, it's pulled it out and dropped it down a little bit. And then I've also had to get my device code to machine me up this boss here for my idle control, so it pushes off the coil bracket. It's about 30mm, I think. So they did an awesome job and smashed that out for us. But yeah, absolute fizzing to get this car going. John has been going hard on the wiring. Probably looks like a bit of a mess in there at the moment, but he's doing his thing. We're pretty much just doing the basics just to get it running at the moment. And then we're going to worry about tidying it all up afterwards. But he's run wires down and vacuum lines, so we've got a vacuum line coming to the back for our window washers, because we've deleted the front window washer tank because I don't like the filler neck and engine bay, so we're going to run the front washers off the rear ones because we've deleted it off this car. Another vacuum line that runs down to the water meth controller, which will be probably mounted maybe under here somewhere behind that kick panel so no one can adjust it. Yeah, so goal today, is to try to get this boot all tidied up and sorted. I've started making a plate somewhere so all this stuff gets bolted to that and then it gets bolted in the car. So it's all solid mounted, so I don't have to drill heaps of fucking holes in the boot, even though I'm going to have to drill some holes in the boot to mount it. But just obviously that uneven surface is quite hard to mount the battery and stuff and still keep it tension on it. So tank's going to go off on Monday, it's going to get powder coated as well. Don't really like the polished or the raw aluminium look in this car. There's nothing else that's raw aluminium, so it's going to get blacked out. But yeah, John's done an awesome job of wiring. Super stoked with progress so far. But yeah, so this is the panel. This is the carpet. That's the panel. So that actually bolts through the floor into the rear tub. I've put some riv nuts in there, and then compressor bolts to these because it bolts through the carpet to lift it up. So it's all solid, so if you get on the brakes too hard, it's not going to come flying at you. But yeah, got the brake lines made by So Far Brakes around the corner. They smashed it out, did us a braided clutch line as well. We usually do brake lines ourselves, but just with the time factor and just how much was going on at work, I just outsourced it to them. They've done an awesome job, super stoked with that. But yeah, it's coming together, finally. They're good. Alright, so just gave this intake pipe a polish. Fuck, how good does that look? That looks amazing. And so if you see in here, I don't know if you can see that, 100% pen. A lot of people weld titanium without filler wire. It's just like a fusion weld, which is not a bad thing. We just like the look more of the dimes and the filler. You can do it with without any filler and minimal filler, but this is the best way we've found to do it. So that's how we've been doing it. So now we're going to fill up the bath and then we'll show you guys how we do the anodizing process. So good. So good. Nice work, Jimmy. Alright, so we're just getting the anodizing set up. So obviously this is how we do our studs. I was trying to show a friend the other day what the max colour can go, and it's green. So that's it there. So obviously we want to try to do it all even. You can brush it on with like a metal brush, but we want to try to do it as even as we can. So we've put our mix in here, which is the trisodium phosphate, or TCP. It's just like a brewery cleaner. That's what we found works the best. So we sprayed it in there, we put some hot water in it. If you don't put the hot water in it, it doesn't dissolve at all and you get spots all through your TI, which is a bit of a bastard and you don't want that. So let that soak up a little bit, get rid of all the Colombian residue. Now we'll fill that with water. Alright, so I got the inverter set to our output. We're not going to tell you what output we've put to because it's taken us a while to figure it out. So we've got an earth hooked up to our bath with our PCP in, and then we've got a positive hooked up to our product. So we pretty much just dip it in there. You want to try make sure if you've got it hooked up to wire that it doesn't bounce around and arc out and destroy your piece, so you've got to hold it firm. It usually takes a little bit to actually do anything. You might have to, because we did that little tube and because it's maybe so small, we might have to add a bit more current to it, just to get the whole item. I'll just try to put that in closer to the earth. You'll find the further away piece from the earth will actually not work as much or colour as much as the other end. Also make sure you don't touch the earth because it will also damage your piece. Almost started going to that brown phase, eh? I think that's nice for now. Give it a clean, see what it looks like. So yeah, so what we just found out, so obviously I've been holding it from the bottom, from the start stop, so so that's what I was looking at as a reference point. But because it was actually on the bottom of the bath, it's actually gone more of a reddy gold, probably a little bit past what we actually want. So it looks like back on the polisher. Best thing about the stuff is you can actually polish all the anodizing off, start from the scratch again. It is a real pain, and it is going to be a real pain because we've already got so much shit to do today, but it's one of those things to get it how we want it to be. Tone it back, I think it was those last 3 amps, and we would have been sweet. Volts, sorry, not amps. But yeah, oh, polish her up, give her another go.
Round 2.
Right? You and Jono. I thought while we were at it, I'd show you our oil cooler kits we need to do for the FDs. So they run a Aeroflow 25 row oil cooler for our own stainless brackets and hardware, and then Aeroflow PDFE fittings and PDFE line. So they mount in the factory locations on both sides. So obviously it's got a joiner line that goes behind your bumper support, behind the bumper, and then we've got the feed line from the Aeroflow thermostat that sits up there on a nice little bracket. On our V-mount, they mount the line underneath our intercooler and radiator support panel, and then it comes under here and then back into there. And then obviously you've got your feed line that 45s back into the oil rig, and then feed back up to the engine back there. John's just finishing off all the little wiring from under here. Excuse the cable tied fuel line, don't judge us, we don't have time to do it properly. But Jono runs a stud here on the floor for power, so we run the battery cable up on the inside of the floor, P-clip the whole way up, and then it's got a little power stud up here, so it can feed the ECU on the inside and the starter motor and everything else on the outside here. So nice job, Jono. And then I don't know if I've shown you guys this, but this is our fuel pump, surge tank, main drive pump, water meth tank. Going to make a double shield here that goes right through both sides, so it won't heat soak this fuel tank, and it'll have padding in between it as well, so all the hot air will go out both sides. The exhausts on factory run very close to the fuel tank. Obviously got the shielding, and obviously it's on at the side, not above it. Heat rises, but with the shielding and everything, it should be pretty sweet. The reason why we put the surge tank down this end is obviously if we run that down there, this has got soft lines off both sides, and we're worried about heat popping that line. At least that's a sealed unit which is with a fixed fitting, so that's why we've done it that way. So obviously the drive pump or the feed pump in the tank down to here, and then -6 feed, -6 return. Mark reckons it's plenty for the power we're running with water meth. Apparently you don't need that much fuel with the water meth, so yeah, and at least all the pumps are sealed down here. Don't have to have them in the boot, don't have to have them sealed off. How good? Progress. And then we got the old Exidi twin plate clutch in here. Exidi. Fuck, it's been a long Saturday already. And then obviously the V-mount, which has all been blacked out. A little bit of bumper ash on there, but I'm still going to put the foam tape down the back to seal it all off. But this is where our V-mount draws its air from, so it's got its own air pocket there to douse the air filter with air, cold air, and then also put air through the engine bay as well. But yeah, how good? And then yeah, loving the new stickers that Rick's made us up. So originally those ones there are white, and these ones are blue. I just didn't think it worked well with the theme, so Rick's made us these again, in gold. They got the new slotted rotors on, new pads around. So found out the hard way, bought some discs for it, and it actually runs the 314 or 315mm disc, not the smaller ones. Lucky my supplier took them back. But we couldn't find some for the rear, so I've just had to get them machined up so they look like they're new until the new ones turn up from Brake Tech, hopefully next few weeks. Alright, Jono, finish your wiring.
Wicked as hell as I can, boss.
They just come down for a Sunday cleanup before the week of madness, so we don't have to do it tomorrow morning when we come in. But yeah, done pretty good yesterday. Obviously, we showed you that making that and anodizing it. Like you've probably seen at the end of that clip, it went a bit more of a red, so I've had to repolish the whole lot. And and then redid it with a couple less bolts, and it's come out perfect. So we'll weld the bob on there tomorrow, and we'll do the same to that one, and then hopefully start on the exhaust, get it running. But the big boss wanted to come in and check out her car, so what are you doing? That's the airbag switch. Close your door. Where are you gonna go for a drive? Alright, watch your fingers. So it's her yellow car, her yellow race car that she tells all her friends. It's pretty funny. We got her in our little Rx3 when she was quite young, and she was all about it, like loves that car. Unfortunately it's next door at Dylan's, getting a bit of work done to it to get it even better than what it was before. So hopefully she hasn't lost it when we take her for a drive on this one. I don't think she has, she keeps going on about it, but chuck the car seat in and take her for a wee drive. You know, we're a little race driver. Pretty cool having a little one that's fully into this stuff as well. Can't wait till she's old enough and we can actually teach her a few techniques and get her on the TIG welder and stuff. It's pretty cool. But yeah, this is clean-up day today. There's shit everywhere. It's actually not as bad as it was yesterday. I had a bit of a clean-up last night, but definitely just try to organise where all the tools are and stuff, so we're not having to walk around and try to find them tomorrow. Con Anna in to come and give us a hand.